worth so much more, and today I'm going to prove it. Hello, and welcome to a brand new episode of I desperately need a haircut, but all the salons are shut because the UK is in lockdown. My name is Emma Cownley. I'm a freelance copywriter and blogger, and today we're going to talk about money. We talked about it here, and we talked about it here, and now we're going to talk about it here because apparently I love you so much more than you love yourself. I'm going to show you today just exactly why you are worth top dollar, decent freelance rates and why you need to put your damn prices up. It can feel really difficult to justify a price increase or in fact a competitive wage at all when you're a freelancer, especially when you're a freelance copywriter, because in theory everybody can write. But they can't though. They really can't. I recently did a job for a client, a massive proofreading job. I very rarely take on proofreading jobs like that because I fucking hate proofreading. Like really hate it. Like aggressively hate it. I hate proofreading more than I hate Bruce Willis. More than I hate the Henry Hoover. It's probably one of my most hated things of all time if I really had to think about it. Point is, doing this proofreading job showed me that even the most educated, because the people that I was working for were smart, a massive brand name in their industry, really fucking clever. As soon as I started reading the copy that they had written themselves, I realised just how valuable my skills are. So I'm going to share those learnings with you and really help you work towards feeling comfortable with a decent wage and justifying a price increase or a decent price for yourself. Because when we send off a quote or give our rate to somebody, there's always that little thing of like, you kind of close your eyes and slide it across the table and then sit there like this, hoping that they're gonna accept the rate or even find it fair and reasonable. But it is fair and reasonable, and I'm going to tell you for why. Now, before we really get into the nitty-gritty of this, I just want to put this conversation into perspective. So, according to the Pro Copywriters 2020 annual survey, the average rate of a UK-based freelancer is £379 per day. A day rate is the most popular way to charge freelance rates. Day rates and project rates are the best way to charge. If you want any info on that, you can find it in the description box below. This survey was based on over 600 UK copywriters from the most junior to the most senior. It's an average number, like a mean figure, based on copywriters from all different industries, all different skill sets, all different experience levels, all different tenure lengths, if you will. So it's kind of like an average figure. But it does give you a really good, stable starting place for what you should be charging or what's reasonable to charge. Because in freelancing, especially freelance copywriting, there is no set fee, there is no kind of standard or average. Everybody charges differently based on their experience, their skill set, their unique abilities, and let's be frank, their level of self-confidence. So rates can be anything, anywhere you go. And so it's nice to kind of know what other people are charging, on the DL, to kind of see where you might fit in. Because let me be clear again, there is a freelance pay gap. We're doing it to ourselves because we're the only people in charge of our salary and how much we earn. And that shouldn't be a thing. I won't have it, all right? I won't. So here's the first reason that your decent freelance rate is perfectly fucking justified. And that is your basic grasp of written English language. People who write every single day and are trained to really know editing skills, proofreading skills, it is their job to be word fucking perfect. And on top of it, with regard to punctuation, sentence structure, basic fucking English language skills, which most professionals who are not professional writers have forgotten. They've forgotten it. They think they can do it. They think they could write it themselves, but they don't have time, so they're going to hire a writer. Mate, they don't. They don't know shit. And the reason that this never occurred to me is because I know this stuff. I use it every day. It's a given. It's a skill that I take for granted because I use it all the time, and I didn't realise that not everybody has those skills until I started editing the work of professionals from other fields. Things like introductory commas, or the difference between n dashes, m dashes and hyphens. Things like the correct use of a semicolon or an ellipsis, or the difference between single and double quotation marks. Things that I just know, and I know them because I use that good shit all day long. Also basic things about how to structure a sentence. The amount of times I've edited a sentence that says, not only do we blah 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 blah, and then doesn't complete that sentence structure with, but also we blah 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 blah. If you're saying not only, you have to say but also. Do you know what I mean? That's how that sentence structure works. You can't start it one way and finish it another way. You just don't do that. Or the first reason being blah 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 blah. And also we do this. What about the second reason or the third reason? You've started your sentence structure in this particular way. You've got to carry it on or change the sentence. You can't just do that. So we've got those skills. Other people don't have those skills. That within itself, basic as it may seem, is so incredibly valuable. Next up is strategy. This particular point is massive. It's a fucking beast of a point to make, but I'll try and be as brief as I can and kind of skip over it a little bit. Good copywriting knows how to capture somebody's attention in a environment that is absolutely jam-packed with other advertising and other messages. People are besieged at all times by copy, marketing messages, sales pitches. They are inundated constantly. Only a really excellent writer knows how to capture the right person's attention, cut through the noise, and deliver a message perfectly and concisely. That's not something everyone can do. You also need to be able to keep somebody engaged throughout the duration of the copy to deliver the message to them. It's no good pulling them in with a really sexy headline or an attention-grabbing headline and then failing to deliver the message or keep their attention. That level of writing for engagement, hard. It's hard. A good writer will also know how to prompt somebody to take the desired action. They'll be able to write a really sick call to action which is clear. The person knows exactly what they need to do to get the benefit, to buy the product, to engage with the campaign or whatever. Great copy will do that. I mean, do you know how hard it is to grab somebody's attention and convince them to do something that 10 seconds ago they didn't even know they wanted to do, they hadn't even heard of it? Also, let's not forget, people consume content differently depending on the format or the medium that they're reading on. They're going to read a magazine differently to the way that they're going to read an email, differently to the way that they're going to read a case study, differently to the way they're going to read a white paper or a web page or a brochure, differently. Whether they're being sold to, told a story, convinced, pitched to, everybody is in a different state, a different position in the sales funnel. They have different stages of awareness, and good writing will cater directly to that stage of awareness, to that medium, to achieve a specific purpose. Not everyone can do that. And it's all shit that we do all the time. We've got that strategy and that strategic awareness with regard to how people consume copywriting and how to write it to really fucking get in there. Told you, man, that shit's hard. That shit's a science. So next up is the professional touch. This is something that people naturally expect from us as writers and do not have the time to do themselves. So for example, when I finish my first draft, I'll typically run it through about 3 different pieces of software, or 5 depending on what the copy is. I need to run it through Hemingway to make sure that it's got really good readability and that it's very, very clear, but doing that with a view to still making it the right tone of voice for that particular audience. So if Hemingway's like, you shouldn't say these flowery words, what's this big long word you've used? If that's the tone of voice, I basically tell Hemingway where it needs to go and I move on with my day. I run it through different word processing tools to catch different errors when I'm proofreading. I have different proofreading techniques that I use, so typically that will take me a really long time because I need to put it through these different softwares and then put it through my own manual process to catch every error. I use headline analyzing tools, I use subject line analyzing tools. I go through so many different finishing processes when I'm done with that draft and I'm editing and proofreading it that the average Joe just doesn't have the time to faff around with. And that's because, from my perspective, it needs to tick a lot of different boxes and be absolutely perfect before I hand it off and it goes live. Who has time for that? A copywriter has time for that because that's a fucking job. And that's why we charge good money for it. The final reason why you are absolutely worth a decent freelance wage is because of the external expertise you bring to a particular copywriting project. Now, I don't know about you, but I tend to find that when I'm working with a client, they are only interested in what they have to say to somebody. They want to talk at you about themselves because they're very, very excited about their new thing and they want you to know all about why they did it and why they thought it was great and why they thought you would like it. Which is understandable, totally understandable. I get it. But it's my job as an external person to that conversation to say, that's great, Derek, but where's the benefit to your customer? Because they don't really care about you. They care about themselves and what's in it for them. So how can we flip this message to say, hey, Joe Blogs, you've got a problem with this. Well, how about you try this? It will fix your problem because of X, Y, Z. Come and find it here. At the end of the day, really good copywriting is the key to great inbound marketing, great SEO, really good brand confidence, excellent engagement, excellent retention. It makes people feel a certain type of way. You've persuaded them. That's so powerful. So I urge you to go over and have a look at the Pro Copywriter survey. Really get involved with the data on how much people charge and start to think about maybe putting your rates up. As always, I've filled the description box with a load of different resources that you can go away and have a look at, just about how to set your rates, how to figure out, how to price yourself, how to price different jobs, and give quotes to clients, why using content mills and bidding sites is not a good idea when you want to earn good money, and where I find all my highest paying clients and where you can find some too. So if you fancy it, do some extra research, maybe think about putting your rates up, I don't know, because if one more brilliant female copywriter approaches me and tells me that they don't feel confident to charge good rates, I'm going to lose my mind. You owe it to yourself to get decent money for the good job you do. Don't make me come over there. I don't want to act like anyone's mum. So yeah, if you have any questions for me, you can leave them in the comments section below or find me on Twitter at EJ Cownley. And if you're already an established, experienced freelance writer who has some excellent pearls of wisdom to give to other people in the community that might be new, I want your comments in that box below immediately. Give your best advice and share it, because there are writers out there that really need to hear what you've got to say. It will be helpful, so please, please, please share up. And yeah, take care, and I'll see you back here, same time, same place in 2 weeks for more Kiss My A's. Take care. Peace out.